For this Ramadan and every year, when Ramadan comes, there are always many questions. And many of the people send to our program many of these questions, which are rather need a very specific scientific answers. And today we have some of these questions, which we are going to answer them one by one, so that we give an idea about the problems that might face the fasting people in Ramadan. First of all, a question came about the time schedule or the action plan for the day of a fasting person. We know that there is a biological clock found inside the human being, which makes him runs in activity and in everything parallel to the clock or biological rhythm of the whole universe. It is supposed that people go up early in the morning when the sun rises and sleep little after the sun goes down. So all the religions, and especially in Islam religion, there is an insistence that people must sleep at night and work in the daylight. In Ramadan, unfortunately, some people might do the reverse, and this is absolutely wrong. And every day in your whole life, you are accustomed to take your breakfast in the morning, and in Ramadan, you are accustomed to take it in the afternoon, after the sunset. All your systems were accustomed that they have to do the digestion, and the enzymes go in some time. The hunger pains usually come to you in a special hour of the day, which you are accustomed also to take your lunch, for example. And the thirst also, you are accustomed to take your coffee or tea in some hour. All this biological clock is disturbed in Ramadan. And this is very useful for you, so that you can refresh the system of acclimatization of your body. People say that the biological clock, if disturbed, for example, by the jet lag, when people go and travel to a place far from Egypt, like the United States or Australia or so on, and the night is day and the day is night, there is a very big confusion. They can't sleep, they can't eat, they can't digest, they can't work, they can't concentrate, to the extent that the law, the international law, said that if you go for such travels, you are not allowed to discuss or sign agreements except after your biological clock is preset to the new timing and the new system. So for this, we have to carry on parallel to the old system, but with slight deviations. You have to take your suhoor or last meal just before the praying of Al-Fajr, because this is the advice of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Some people say that, okay, I take a late dinner and that's okay, but this is absolutely wrong, because then you will have a hypoglycemia, or the blood glucose level will go down during the day, and you will not be able to do the activities, especially the mental activities. A question came asking about that in Islam it is said that who is traveling is allowed not to fast. And they say that traveling in that time of the early times of Islam was a very hard job, to go in the Sahara and in the desert, where it is very hot and there is thirst and they walk and so on. That's the meaning of traveling at that time. So this is not applicable to our days. But no, it is still applicable in some conditions. For example, if you are traveling and driving your car, then it is better to be, and you have the right to break your fasting of Ramadan. Why? Because in the morning, if you are driving, let us say at 11 o'clock in the morning, the blood glucose level decreases much in your blood. And then you are facing that your brain, which is nourished mainly on the glucose, the brain, the heart, and the liver, these are the high prestige organs of the body. And they eat, or they are nourished only by glucose. So when the glucose level is decreased during the fasting, then an accident might happen. And we all know that the accident takes 1 second of brain malfunction to happen. If you just like this, your brain is not functioning, there is an accident. So if you are driving a car, you can break your fasting. But if you are not driving, of course, you must not break your fasting. Also, those who are driving trains, aeroplanes, and so on, they have the responsibility of lives of other people. And my opinion is that they have the right to be fasting, and then they can fast some other days after Ramadan. Another question came about the constipation that some people might suffer in Ramadan. And in fact, due to this biological clock dysfunction or disturbance, some people might suffer from constipation. And for this, the advice is that for constipation, never treat it by drugs or medicines, but always try to treat it by food. The problem might be starting as food, and then the solution is in the food. The best remedy or the best solution as a prophylaxis measure for constipation is the bread or the bran. You have to eat those bulky foods that make constipation not possible to occur or happen. The bran or the bread, which we call baladi, is the best bread that you have to eat. It is much better than the white bread that we eat because it contains this bran, which is very important for the movement of the colon. And it is said also that if you use it, you are far from having the cancer colon. That's why some people use it and they are healthy, and it is a good advice for them to do that. Also the vegetables, especially in suhoor, which contains a lot amount of water, and they have fibers, and fiber now is a very important part in the constitution of diet. They are always far from constipation. I hope for you all a healthy fasting, and see you in the next episode.